Hi there. If you're a Photoshop expert, just skip to the download. You don't need all these tips. But if you'd like to see how to use this template to your advantage, then hang around for a few minutes. So here's the template. But before we get into that, let me just show you real quick. I developed this mod here, Adorable Hamster Pets. And so I've got a YouTube channel where I post update videos and I need thumbnails for these. I'm going to show you how I make a thumbnail for Noxus here. He is making a showcase of my mod because it won Mod of the Year and that was one of the prizes. And he needs a thumbnail for his video. So here we go. Starting from scratch. You'll download this template file right here. Now notice this is a PSDT file. That means when you double click to open this, you will see this right here. But it's going to say up at the top corner here, it's going to say unsaved. You need to save your file. Always save your file. If you open a PSDT, it is a template, so it's purposefully making a blank unsaved file. Okay, first up, let's turn off everything so I can show you the build. We've got your background, we've got the bleed area. This means don't put things on this side of these lines. And here's your thumbnail background. Now the cool thing about this is you can come in here, you can click this layer, you can do Control ? Or you can just click on the lock and that will unlock the layer, which will allow you to then come in here and control the color. And I'm already on hue right here. You want to be on hue and you can just switch your hue to anything. You can also change the saturation. You can like click over here, but it's less precise. I like to go saturation, turn my saturation, brightness, change my brightness, and then hue and change the hue like that. I'm gonna hit cancel because I like this because it goes with the color of the arrows, which I'll show you in a second. So it's a gradient, and then we've got clamping for the brights, and then we've got the color, and it's set to color blend mode. Boom, there you go, that's your background. Now moving on, we've got a place to put your images if you like to have a stroke and a drop shadow around the images. So to show you what this looks like, let's drag an image in, and it did not go in the folder. Let's put it in the folder. There we go. So you can see if I go to my move tool, I'm hitting V on my keyboard, I can drag the image around. If I need to move the mask, I can just click the mask and then I'm pressing the A button. I'm selecting all the nodes and pressing Control T, and now I can move my mask around wherever I'd like it. Change the size, put it over here like this, and it looks weird on the edge there because the image itself is actually not filling that spot. Here we go. Now I'm doing Control T again and I can just move the image around and boom, there you go. If you like a stroke and a background, there's that. Let's turn that off, and here's where you put your normal images. So let's just drag this in again, but now it needs to go in this folder here, and I'll show you these two here, and these are really cool. But first we're just going to start with the normal image, so I can do remove background.
And also like to keep that shadow, so I'm just going to delete the mask. I'm going to do this. This is the lasso tool, and select the mask, and then do that, and then I'm going to do multiply, and then I'm going to put a levels layer on top of this. I'm going to do Control Alt G and click that to that, and then I'm going to crank the brights and the darks until we no longer see that color there. And now we got a shadow back, and then I can also do a hue saturation and do Control Alt G again, and then just remove the saturation. There we go. We have a pretty simple and then a shadow.
So I got a shadow and a hamster, and then I'll do Control G again, and we've got our hamster. There we go. You can also do things like this. So this is a parallel thirds. Each of these images is separately movable, editable, and positionable. If I do Control quotation mark, you can see that these are the thirds here. So that's kind of straightforward. I've already got images in here for you. You can just you could even click into these smart objects and replace the images with your own. I did that in case I need to like reposition them and stuff like that. But anyway, you can just click into the smart objects and replace your own and then save them if you want to do that. Then let's take a look at the thirds triangle. So you can see an example of this thumbnail on my mod page right here. I need to redo this though because it's kind of old, but you can see that in action there. And then it's also just as editable as well. This image is actually on top of these other two, but since it's clipped to this shape, it doesn't cover them up. And the cool thing about that is since I'm using a shape, I can actually add the drop shadow and the white line dynamically to the shape. So if I change the shape of this shape, it'll also change the shape of my line and my drop shadows. Next up, we got the speed treble. I don't use this very often, so I just leave it off. It's just two shapes put together. I don't even really use it very much. I've used it maybe once or twice. And then text. So the cool thing about this text is it is editable live. Text, boom, there we go. And also I'm using drop shadows to make it look kind of 3D and some other effects. But the cool part about it is if I go into one of these drop shadow layers and I change the global light angle, it changes for everything because they are all using this box is ticked on all of them. So all the drop shadow layers are using the same global light angle, so I can just change it for all of them at once. And of course you can do whatever you want with this text, but if you do want to add more text, make sure to put it in this bottom group, and you can see it will actually inherit all of the effects that I've already applied to the groups above it. Moving on to shapes. We have a lot of shapes here. Let me turn off the background images just so those are not distracting at the moment. So let's say you need to point to something. You know, well, arrows are really great. Arrows convey a whole lot of information in just just an image or a shape, really. Anyway, these arrows are all super easy to edit if you use your move tool. That's V on the keyboard. And you can see I'm using like vectors. So yeah, you don't get any pixelization and stuff. So you can just drag these around. I can click each one to select it over here in my outliner with the move tool. So that's nice. And then you can do Control T, and then you can also just click this here to flip them the other way around. Another cool thing about the shapes is I have 2 different color sets. So like already made for you. So you can actually just drag things into the other group and it will change their color. Look at that. And then these 2 groups inherit the effects from the hue shift group here. So those apply to both any group inside here. Another note, I already have the colors set to complementary, so they're basically opposite on the color wheel. But if you do need to change the colors, what you can try at first before tweaking them manually is just click on, double click this hue shift layer right here, and then, or actually you can click it one time, and if you have your properties window open here, then you can just shift the hue like that. If you don't see properties, come up to window and check properties. But you can just click your layer here, and then you can use the hue shift, and you can actually shift these. And the cool part about this is it's shifting them both at the same time. So that means they are remaining complementary the entire time. So they're still complementary. You can see these, they just look good together, don't they? I'm pointing at my screen right now with my hand, but you can't see it. So try that before tweaking them manually. Next up, we have the overlays. Now, these will be on by default when you download the thumbnail template. And this just shows you what real estate in your thumbnail is covered up by YouTube. YouTube doesn't want you putting things right here. This is the timestamp. This is the spot for the timestamp. He's very greedy about his spot, and he will always be there. So don't put anything there. And then the red bar is just to show you what it's going to look like if somebody has watched part of the video already. If they come back to your channel after watching one. I don't know. It helps me just think of I'm in YouTube space. And then this is the curved corners. These are the exact same radius that YouTube uses. If you are at this resolution, I just pressed Control-Alt-I on my keyboard to look at the image size here. If you're at this resolution, then these corners match YouTube's radius. So these will be on by default, but make sure you turn them off as instructed here before you export your thumbnail, obviously. So when you're done, this is my favorite part. Click this knockout layer right here and press Control-Shift-Alt and E all at the same time, and that will create a new merged layer right here. If you want to look at your keyboard shortcuts and set this up, then you do Control-Shift-Alt and K at the same time. That'll take you here. And then I would like to make a new smart object. So, oh yeah, right. I need to click on panel menus, I think it is. Yeah, convert to smart object. Then I'm going to click this and set up my keyboard shortcut, but I've already done that. So, oh, yeah, that actually reminds me. I could maybe even also offer this as a download if you want my modified keyboard shortcuts here. But, I mean, you might get a little confused. I haven't changed like a ton of stuff, but I've also added new stuff and maybe changed a few things. I don't quite remember. But if you want that, let me know. I can maybe drop it to you. So what I'm going to do is use my custom keyboard shortcut, or I can right click and do smart object. Where is it? Smart object. Convert to smart object. But see how long that took me to find that? So custom keyboard shortcut is Control Y. There we go. And now I've got a smart object. That is key because with a smart object, you can click and drag layers or layer filters or whatever these are called onto the smart object. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take my final pass layer and put it on top of that. And then it looks a little bit probably worse at the moment, but that's because we're just using basic colors here and it wasn't really necessary. But I promise you, when we get to the end of this thumbnail, you're going to be like, what? That just made it so much better and a lot more. It's just my personal opinion, but it also makes it a lot more clickable. Hey there, you enjoying the video so far? Maybe it's a good time to take a break. I know it's a longer one. Probably a lot going on here. And if you're a little overwhelmed, just take a little break. Maybe get yourself a little snack. Maybe a cup of coffee. Maybe a donut or a bagel or something. Something with carbs. Also, if you're getting value out of this video, maybe consider maybe donating. You know, I've got my Ko-fi is linked in the description. You could also get on Patreon. If you decide to become a supporter, you can get access to preview builds. So, for instance, you could be playing tag with your hamsters right now if you were a supporter, because I've already dropped a preview build with that in there. All right, my beautiful person. Now, you have had your tour, so it is time to make a thumbnail for Noxus. Ah. I'm feeling jiggly. So, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, check the instructions in the description if you would like to use this Photoshop template, or if you'd like to use this mod pack. It's called YouTuber Heaven, and you can find the instructions for downloading that in the description as well.